Hello everyone, this is Josh from Riskas Wrenches with another video messing around with my 1989 Pontiac Firebird. Now in this video, hopefully we're not going to be doing any repairs, but we're going to take this thing on a road trip. I found a great deal on Trans Am body cladding for this thing, front bumper, rear bumper, side skirts, all that stuff, and it's about a 3-hour drive. And well, if it's getting put on this car, we might as well take this car to go get it. It is about the most fuel efficient vehicle I own, and well, I like driving it, so I don't need much more of an excuse than that to take it on a road trip. And along the way, if I see anything cool, any cool junkyards, old Americana stuff, like old gas stations that have been shut down, anything like that, we will stop and check them out. So I'm not even gonna ramble along much in this intro at all. We're just gonna get right on the road. I have a GoPro mounted on my sunroof, so that way you guys can see kind of what I'm seeing, and I'll cut in if I see anything interesting. But first things first, let's go to the local gas station, fill this thing up, get some breakfast, some drinks that are nice and cold, because it's going to be a hot day today, and then we'll get on the road. See you guys in a second. All right, well, we're fueled up. We've got some breakfast, and I've got like 3 or 4 Gatorades.
Waiting for connection. Bluetooth is connected.
And my radio's connected. What a great day. All right. Well, we'll get heading off here. And like I said, I'll cut in if I find anything interesting, and we'll go check it out. Oh, I probably need to start my navigation.
Stormont Vale Event Center. Proceed to the route, then turn right onto East Main Street.
And I'm going to be listening to music that you guys won't be able to hear. Tragic for you, I know.
Racing my own thoughts into the silence, seeking the guidance I forgot. It's somewhere long.
Guys, it's got a push bar on it and everything. It looked like a cop from behind me. I was scared I was going to get pulled over because I was speeding.
Must be written, I just lost my access to the map. Somewhere love had bitten, I chased the apple and realized can't let it go. Baby, it's a losing game, and I know that I'm to blame. I crossed the ocean.
All right, so we're going to take this exit. There's a really nice junkyard over here that I pulled that old Chevelle I had out of, that Camaro. You guys have seen us walk through it. I was contemplating if I wanted to make a detour to it because it's sort of on the way, but it's like 30 minutes out of the way. And it looks like it's just taking us that way. So we're going to stop by it and just say hi. Oh, here she is. What I'm looking for is 4th gen Firebird seats because they bolt right into these things and they're way more comfortable. And I think this guy has one, if I remember correctly. He also has a supercharged Grand Prix
Waiting for connection.
that I kind of want to talk to him about, see if I can get for dirt cheap.
Bluetooth is connected.
In 1 mile, turn left onto Southwest Rogers Road.
All right, so there is the Firebird I remembered. And the story on this thing was, it was a running and driving car, and then the idiots were trying to do something with the wiring and fry the ECU. Now, granted, the seat doesn't look like much, but is it comfy? There is rat poop on it. That's a significant amount of rat poop. Let me just move this to the back. Or over or something. Gimme. Thank you. That's good. You can just hold that. Now, with how ugly this seat is, I might be able to get the seat for a steal and just bring it to a car wash and just pressure wash the shit out of it, literally. It does look very cushy and comfy, I'm not gonna lie. Now I just gotta get all the poop off of it. Where's the implement of scrapage? Are you an implement of, oh, you're the perfect implement of scrapage. This is Gonorrhea Pacificades right here. Oh, there's something buried. What is that? Is that a C? Oh, it's a CD. What is that? Some sort of CD. I mean, the seat's not tore up, which is kind of, I'm just going to use my hand. I'm over it. Oh, wait, we could use the CD here. There we go. Yeah. Oh, this thing is sacked out. Look at the lack of cushion in it. Oh, man, it's sacked out. What CD is it, though? Oh, it's old Lincoln Park. Is there a CD in it? No. Ow! That poked me. Well, that seat's a bust. All right, originally I was going to be interested in this old Grand Prix back here because what I really want to do is put a 3.8 supercharged in my red Firebird over there and make like a anniversary clone out of it, because those had the 3.8 turbos before they went to the 3800s, but I don't have the money for a 3.8 turbo, and the 3800s make just as much power super easily, and they're normally pretty cheap. But we got talking. This thing was running and driving until a tree fell on it, and the local body shop would not fix it. The guy really wanted it fixed because he loved this car, but they wouldn't fix it because this C pillar or B pillar, whatever pillar it is, got folded, and they basically said, well, once that's folded, we can't refold it back out because all the structural integrity's gone, which is fair. So it came to the junkyard. I actually drove to this junkyard right here, and this is where it's sat. And I was really interested in it, but he did make a point here. He showed me this old Monte Carlo, which is a Dale Earnhardt Intimidator Special, whatever they called it. And it is supercharged. It's SS. It's got the 3.8 supercharged in it. And unlike this Pontiac here, it doesn't have the security system in the key, is what he was saying. He's pretty sure it doesn't have that. So getting that electronic system to work in my old Firebird might be a little bit easier than this one. So I'm going to have to do some research and figure out which one of these cars I'm going to want to bring home. So the Monte Carlo does run and drive, except for the fact that there's a hole in the radiator, so you can run it and drive around the block, but probably not more than that, or else it's going to overheat. He said this one just literally ran and drove right to here. I didn't ask him really what he wanted for this one. He said basically make an offer, but for the old Monte Carlo, he said $700. So probably around the same price for this one. So I'm going to have to do some digging and figure out if I can make the security system not work, and if there's a difference in years and all that crap. I might have to throw a battery to each of them and see how many miles they have on it, hear them both run, all that crap. So we'll be back to this junkyard at some point to save one of these cars to put the motor into that Firebird. Or maybe I'll just Ford Taurus swap the Firebird. That'll make a lot of people happy. And I'll do like one of these, but like with the 3.0 that throws timing chains. I'll do that. That'll make a lot of people happy. All right, back on the road. I don't know why I'm zoomed into 2 times, but look at that sexy car. Doing great so far, car. All right, like I said, let's get back on the road. All right, road time. I do need to get back on the road because I think my camera's gonna overheat if I let it sit too long. Whoa, stalled it.
Turn right.
Yep, got my big truck for all my groceries and hauling my kids to soccer. All right, so I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I'm not stranded. The bad news is, I'm gonna give you guys a heads up here. If you have a MasterCard, and for some reason your card gets locked because it's flagging it for some weird transaction, even though I'm like an hour away from home, if you call the MasterCard number, they cannot unlock your card unless your bank does. And well, my bank is closed on Saturday, so I was stuck in the middle of nowhere without much gas in my car, so I had to dip into the $100 that I brought for all of the car parts I was gonna buy today. Thankfully, the guy was pretty cool. He's like, hey, I get it, you know, we can just reschedule the next weekend. So So the $100 in my wallet is now 80 bucks, and we're about halfway there. So now what's gonna happen is I'm gonna look at my phone for cool stuff around here. I still have 80 bucks, so that's another couple gas tank fill ups. We're gonna go find some cool stuff. And then next weekend, I guess, I will go get the parts for this car. Be a heads up, if you have a MasterCard and your bank's closed on the weekend, you could be completely and utterly screwed. Wait, hold on, I might have just got my car to unlock. Hold on, we might be in business here. All right, so heads up here. I went to my bank's app and I just spammed lock and unlock my card for like 10 minutes until it finally unlocked. So yes, if you do have a MasterCard and your bank is closed on the weekend and for some reason your card gets flagged, you are screwed. Do not be stranded like I almost was. Just a heads up. Remember that. If your bank is closed on the weekend, or they're just closed in general, and you have a MasterCard and it's after your bank hours are, you know, where everybody's closed and everything like that, you could be stranded. Try to find a bank that has some sort of contact for 24 hours unless you want to be stranded in the middle of nowhere. But thankfully, I was able to get my card to unlock. I got some money out of the bank, so that way, if it did lock again, I wouldn't be screwed, and now we can get back on the road. All right. Well, like an hour of time down the drain. Let's get back on the road. It's the freak music video song! Go away! 6, 7, 6, 7!
6, 7. I'm such a fat fucking chud.
Howdy. All right, since I'm an idiot and I guess I forgot to record a little bit of footage here, we did end up getting all of the parts on the inside of the car. You guys can't really see it because it's the night, but all the parts are in here, the bumpers, everything like that. And down the road from where we picked this thing up was a gun show, so I went and hit that up. All right, sad news. Didn't realize in Kansas that you cannot buy a pistol. A pistol if you're out of state. There was a table full of old high points and crap. This guy just had a table of like beat up old guns, and they were like 80 to like 130 bucks. And I was gonna buy a handful of them, like a couple of high points and different calibers, you know, to try out different calibers. In Kansas, you cannot buy them, even though I have a concealed carry permit and everything, and I bought firearms in Iowa. You can't buy them. You have to buy them and then ship them to a certified FFL, which is like a licensed gun shop or something like that. Then you can pick them up from there. And with those firearms, the fees to do that were just not worth it. I could just literally buy them new. High points are like 200 bucks new. I mean, they'd be like 20 bucks shipping and then like 20 bucks for the FFL transfer, which is like another 40 bucks on there. So it's just not even worth it. So now what we're gonna do, on the bright side though, they did have really, really nice cold air conditioning in there. So that's pretty cool. So now we're gonna go hit up that airspace museum because that's on the way back out of here. Then we're gonna head on home, and if there's anything cool on the way, we'll hit it. But driving up here, I didn't see much other than the stuff that we've already stopped at. So don't hold out hope for it. This thing's taking me. It's taking me a weird way to this place, but I don't care. I want to. Oh, big plane! Please tell me that one's open. I can take a picture with it. Oh, there's gonna be so many pictures that I'm going to take here. It's gonna be so cool. Oh, you guys have no idea how cool this is about to be. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh yes, look at that. And then back over here, more. All right, so we'll go look at the planes and everything in a minute, but there's a tank over here. You guys think I can get it running? I don't know if I have the keys for it though. I'm gonna walk around like a kid in a candy store for a little bit. Oh my God, these things are remarkably large. You don't realize how big a tank is until you stand next to it. This is the track, right? I'm like 6 foot. The track is like here. My goodness. You don't really get that sense of scale whenever you're watching them in movies. Oh, here's the motor for it. Look at that. 1790 engine powered an M60. Oh, it's an M60. 700 horsepower diesel. You know, this thing means this thing probably makes like 3 billion foot-pounds of torque. Look at the size of the turbo. There's my hand. My goodness. Look at the size of it. Big old radiator fans. Wow. Just the... Oh, Keen. They're the ones that do like Keen Bell superchargers and stuff like that. There's all the service instructions. Kind of worn out, but still there. I remember seeing these in like Cold War films and stuff, I think. Don't crucify me in the comments if I'm wrong about that time frame. Found more stuff. Look at that. I think those are like howitzers or something like that, but they use that to dig into the ground in the back, so that way the recoil doesn't shoot them back. But look at the size of that gun. Holy crap. It's like 105 millimeters probably, if not bigger. There's an Abrams. This is the, these turbos? Yeah. Turbine. Look at that. Look at the size of it. My goodness. Yeah, you really don't realize how big these things are till you stand next to them. Oh, here's some like older stuff, like World War II era. Oh my goodness. High-speed tractor. Look at that. Imagine the guys that piloted these things back in the day, man. Just 18 years old, straight out of like high school. Some of them lied. There's a Medal of Honor recipient that was like 15 that lied about his age and went to World War II. Then when he got injured, they figured out and he got the Medal of Honor and they sent him back to be like in high school. Imagine being in high school with a kid who has the Medal of Honor. All right, so I got the time frame a little bit wrong. He was 16 or 17 years old whenever he got the Medal of Honor. He ended up jumping on a couple of live grenades to save other people, and that's how he got the Medal of Honor before he was sent home and they figured out he was underage. He lied. He was like 15 whenever he originally got shipped off. If you want a more detailed breakdown, his name was Jack Luca, the fat electrician right here. Amazing history channel. I'm an idiot myself. I can't sit still and watch long documentaries about basically anything, but the way he breaks these things down, any historical event, person, one-man army, anything like that, this guy is the man to go to if you want to learn about it. So highly recommend his stuff if you want to learn about anything like that. Let's continue on the video. It's just wild. Then the old half tracks. Crazy. Man. Imagine you and a bunch of buddies loaded up into the back of that. Just heading off. Half track car. Man. Holy moly. We're gonna look at those in a minute. Let's look at the stuff on the ground first. There's another tractor, high-speed tractor. It's crazy. Like you always think about, oh, you know, the big old half tons that haul troops around, but you got to remember back in the day they needed tractors. You know, you guys are, you know, in Iwo Jima and sand and mud and everything like that. You know, you need tractors. Look at all the damage this thing's had. It's had things welded on here, both broken off. This might be all field grade stuff, or maybe, you know, a lot of these things after the war, they were surplus. Farmers bought them and they used them on their farm and they modify them to, you know, suit better things in the farm. That could be farm modified, or that could be, you know, World War II era modifications right there to make it better in the field. Stuff is really, really cool. Look at man, those are like new tires. Somebody spent a lot of money. Oh, there's the old split rims. Those are the ones that most tire shops won't touch because they'll kill you when they blow apart. Here, let me hoist you guys up in there. Can you guys see? Here's the inside of one of those. Look at the size of the leaves on this big girl. Look at that. Yep. Deuce and a half, 6x6. Top speed 50. Oh, it's got an automatic in it. I always figured these things would be like a 3 or 4 speed manual. Oh, I'd never thought about where the spare tire would be. Yeah, it's right where you can get to it. Little exhaust stack right there. God, this is cool. There's another one with the troop carrier thing rather than just the, well, I mean, I guess they all could have been troop carriers, but this thing could have had like a cover put on it, like an old wagon. Look at that. It still has the wood right here for all the seats for the benches for the guys. Wow. See how old that wood is? That might be original wood. Yep, there's another one. Fielded in the 50s, so it's not World War II era, but oh, this one had a 6-cylinder multi-fuel engine. Those are the ones that could run on like tank fuel, jet fuel, all that stuff. Oh, this one's a dually in the back too. It's a, was that 8, 9, 10 wheeler? There's another one. There's a 5-ton. Oh my goodness. Oh, but this one could do 84 miles an hour. That's scary. That's scary. We got a couple more armored personnel carriers, and we got their younger generation up here. This is what they turned into. This is what it was in like the Cold War, or not Cold War, but in, you know, later years. This is the old deuce and a halves that everybody knows, and they run on anything you can throw in them, and they're completely bulletproof. You just got to make sure that you know what you're doing when you work on them. And then now that's what they use nowadays. They're kind of modernized. They're not as antiquated as all this older stuff. They're a little bit fancier. I think some of them even have air conditioning. Don't get me wrong, you still will find these in military bases. There's a lot of places that have a lot of old equipment that doesn't get 5,000 or 6,000 miles in the 30 years it's on a base. So you guys still will find, if you guys ever enlist in the military, you guys still will find old stuff like that on the base, along with new stuff. Just kind of depends. M3 Lee, isn't it? Or not an M3 Lee, because the M3 Lee had 2 guns, but this is a, yeah, an old howitzer. M7 Priest. I think this is on the same chassis as the old M3 Lees, which if you guys didn't know, this old M3 Lees that look like this, they were precursors to the Shermans. Yeah, there was a lot of these chassis where they built the chassis, then they basically kind of made them, you know, work around whatever kind of position they needed to be. If they needed to be a howitzer, they needed to be an artillery piece, they were turned into that. They, you know, turrets were ripped off, hulls were rearranged, but the chassis itself was kind of the LS of the military world. Like, they put this in everything, and you could rearrange it and reconfigure it how you needed it. In fact, there is a Sherman over there. But as I was saying, the M3 Lee, actually, America was building them, trying to get them out, you know, to the frontline troops, and they were like, the first of them were ripped out of the hands of the Americans and sent to the British and everything like that, because they really, really badly needed them. If you guys look right here, we'll look at that Sherman in a little bit. Remember how the suspension looks. I can almost guarantee you on a Sherman it's going to look extremely similar. Here's a couple vehicles I don't know anything about. Battle taxi. Oh yeah, oh, this is a floatable one. It's basically an armored personnel carrier that is amphibious. Neat. Look at that. M30 or M577 command track. Oh, it's a mobile command post. So this would have like radio equipment and all that stuff on it. That same chassis, but you see it's fitted for a different purpose. That's a lot of the military stuff. It's the same chassis, but it's been refitted for a different specialized purpose. Oh my goodness, I could walk laps around here, dude. There's a duck boat. There's so much cool stuff here. All right, let's look at these trucks on this side. Then we'll go over there. Then we'll go to the helicopters. There's so much cool stuff here, man. Look at the size of it. Man, is that military issue? Just to keep people out of it now. Oh, that one has a recovery crane on it. See, this one was a tanker right here. They have a bunch of different versions of these things. They're just kind of the military's do everything truck. Look at the winch on that big girl. Look at the size of that chain. Oh yeah. Oh, there's the Sherman. We'll look at that in a second here. More guns. Oh, look at that. Is this one of those German vehicles that was captured? Or is this an actual U.S. military thing? I'm not extremely well versed in this stuff. Oh, here's an old school Humvee. You can see right there on the inside of it. Not a lot of creature comforts. Just you and about 13 miles between your co-driver. Bulletproof glass. Well, it used to be. What happened with these things is they're replacing them basically. These replaced the old Jeeps because, you know, the Jeeps were getting, you know, hit by IEDs. And basically the response to that was just build bigger IEDs, and they're kind of in a race right now to build a truck that can survive basically any IED, and they're rolling them out to replace these Humvees because these things do not fare well in the new world of improvised explosive devices. They kind of crumple like tin cans. But they are really, really good off-road. They have a 6.2 liter diesel, I believe, in most of them, non-turbocharged. I think they make like 120 horsepower. They're kind of dogs, but they have great portal boxes, which give them better ground clearance. They give them gear reductions. These things will get around basically anywhere. They have a helicone diff in them, which is the exact opposite of an open differential. If one wheel is spinning and the other one's stationary, it will transfer all the power to the one that's stationary because it knows that one has better grip. They're kind of cool. I would like to have one to just kind of be an off-road toy. They're kind of neat, even if, you know, they max speed is like 50 miles an hour. And these things do not have sway bars hooked up to the body, so the whole body will jiggle when you drive them when you go above like 40. Here's another APC, Armored Personnel Carrier. Don't know anything about this one. Doesn't have a tag. I'm not extremely well versed in military stuff. I think it's cool, but I don't know much about it. It's where you get in and out of it. Yeah. Mechanical recoil 75mm pack howitzer. Rock Island Arsenal. neat. I could park my Firebird very comfortably underneath that thing. There's another one. Look at the size of that barrel, man. My fist right there just fits right inside of it. Man, oh my God. This is like screw your neighbor and your neighbor's neighbor and your neighbor's 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 neighbors. Look at the size of the barrel on this chunker. Oh, and there we go. There's the Sherman. You guys can see the suspension concept is very, very similar. It's got springs up in here that hold each of these individual, I think they're called bogies or something like that. I watch the War Thunder sponsored people that rebuild these tanks over in Australia. Really, really cool people. Check them out. I'll throw a couple clips up here.
And Jesse's giving him a hand to test fit them.
They do a lot with restoring these old girls back to their former glory. It's pretty darn cool. You guys see right up there, T5 Benjamin Trice, gunner of the 735. He was KIA August 1st, 1944 in France. It's kind of easy to forget whenever you're looking at these things that they're really cool, but people did give their lives in the middle of these things. You got hit on the side by an anti-tank rifle or a Panzerschreck or something. That's kind of going to wreak havoc in front of the on the inside of these things. They're kind of cramped. They're not luxury boats. They're made to do a purpose, and you're kind of cramped in there. So if something gets in there and explodes, there's going to be a lot of casualties. And right here is a big old tanker. See right there, it's on the heavy-duty chassis. Thing can haul some fuel, water, whatever you want it to. Oh, there's the duck. These duck boats, pretty neat. They're on the old chassis of those old deuce and a half trucks, but they're amphibious. And a lot of these things got sold after the war to people who elongated them and used them as kind of tour boats and everything like that. And there's a lot of fatalities that happen. If you see these things, just remember these things aren't necessarily the most safe thing in the world.
A fast-moving storm battered the boat full of tourists as it crossed Table Rock Lake in the city of Branson.
It became clear the left front wheel and tire had locked up and at some point completely separated from the duck's hub.
Jen, we are right by the Museum of Science right now, and you can see that duck boat is still overturned on its side in the Charles right now.
See, amphibious truck, 42 through 52. Look at that. Top speed 50 mile per hour land or 6.4 in water. Look at the size of that propeller under there. Neat, neat, neat. Rolling Thunder. Another big boy. I think there's a duck behind me. Radar guided anti-aircraft weapon system. Oh, it's Russian. 4 23mm guns. 1962. Still in use. Captured in Iraq during Desert Storm by 1st Infantry Division, Fort Riley. Neat. Good job, guys. It's another big old howitzer. The muzzle brake and the size of that, I could just drop you guys inside of there. I don't want to do that. 105mm. Woo-wee. Captured by the Army. Built in Italy and designed for mountainous terrain from 1957 to 84. 7 people crewed this thing. You probably had a person who'd sight it in, a person who'd load it, a person who would clean it. They just got a commander of all that. There's a bunch of different things that goes into getting these things firing. Look at this chunker. Woohoo! This gave me War Thunder flashbacks back when I played this game. Played that game. My goodness. Look at the chunkiness of it. Can I hit it? That actually feels kind of thin. I could pierce that with like a drill bit. Give me like a carbon tip drill bit. I got this. Russian howitzer, 122mm self-propelled. Tracked and amphibious. This thing could do 60 miles an hour. Holy crap. Max range almost 15,500 meters. Damn. Big old girl could go. That explains why it's kind of thin. It's amphibious. I don't imagine it can't be, super heavyweight or else it'll sink. Look at this little guy. I forget what they call these things. They're kind of neat. They were kind of, I think they were like aerial reconnaissance helicopters back when helicopters were kind of being just first fielded around in the military. I think this was like Vietnam era, if I'm not mistaken. It's really neat. Looks like over here is the stuff that's in the process of being restored. And then over there is all the restored stuff. So, yeah, she's not in perfect shape. But man, is she cool. They still have the gauges. Oh, most of them are still there. Got ignition. You got man. Got RPM. climb rate, your rotor speed. That's neat. Cool stuff. 6-cylinder opposed, air cooled. Neat. Look at the belt that would go up to that power unit there. It's sheared off. I think it needs a new belt. I wonder if you can pick up one of those at O'Reilly's. Look at that. It's got a perfect intake for a turbo. There's the exhaust. Look at the side pipes on that thing. Oh, look at that. Here's a John Deere military vehicle. See right here, you know, obviously the military still needs to do, you know, road construction, maintenance, building buildings in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, equipment is still needed. I should park my car and just over here. Like, yeah, it was the epic Firebird got captured by a First Lieutenant Whiskers in 1964. Look at the size of this thing. Whew. My goodness. That is neat. Look at the size of it. I have no idea what this thing dropped off. I know it's a carry helicopter, obviously, but I have no idea what it dropped off. I don't know if these are like deployable Burger Kings, which America does have. Do not laugh at me. Or like operating bases or surgical theaters. I don't know, but it's cool. It's like a whole self-contained little building. Look at everything, man. This is neat. Look at all that heat-treated exhaust up there. That stuff got hot before this thing has seen some service. This is cool stuff. Oh, you can see inside of it. Obviously, you can't crawl in it, but 137th Transcore CH-54 Sky Crane. Look in there. You guys can see a little bit better than me. That's pretty cool. That's neat. Oh, is that like that controller right there is like, I'm guessing it's like crane operation? And then down here is another controller. I guess you could sit there and peek out when you're lowering it down. That's kind of cool. Oh, looks like the squirrels and everything have got in there. There's walnuts and stuff. Yeah, there's another seat right there, another seat up there. Just look at the size of it. You know, if I wanted to be an asshole, this thing is open right now. I could get in it, but I'm not going to. Oh my goodness, look at the wiring. You would not want to be the poor sergeant that rips one of those wires, or the poor mechanic that has to trace all of them, because oh my goodness, look at the wiring nightmare. Whew. That's cool. That's awesome. All right, I think this is a Apache, I think is what these are called. These are pretty cool because back when this thing was in service, this little turn right here would have a gun to it, and that gun would be linked to your helmet up here. It would hook up, it would have a display, and wherever you look, that gun would follow. So you'd have one of your eyes would be the gun sight, and one of them, obviously, you know, you'd be flying the helicopter with. Really, really neat. Look at that range. 315 miles, 195 miles an hour, 20mm cannon, tow missiles. All that stuff would be mounted right there. That's cool. Then the iconic Huey. If I ever like hit it big, I'm buying one of these things that flies. They're a dream aircraft of mine. These things are so cool. Used for transport of personnel, material, medical evacuation, command and control. Seats 13 with crew. 10 altitude and flight records. Look at that. This aircraft in particular. Yeah. Look at the inside of it. Big old bench seats. Oh my, is that? Oh, it's just water damage. I thought that was stained to blood, and I'm like, yeah, it would make sense. These things in Vietnam had door gunners, you know, M60s and stuff like that. These things saw some serious use back in the day, man. These are like one of my favorite aircraft of all time. They're so cool. So cool. Radio, oh, there's where you jump start it. Battery access under there. Look at the, oh my, look at the rat, like, poop pile. My goodness. There's a serial number of it, 13569. Look inside of there, dude. That's awesome. That's sick. That's really cool. Oh, look. There we go. There's a board for it. Ah, that's cool. I love these helicopters, man. They're like my favorite. They're just so cool. And I have no idea what this thing is. It's cool though. There's a plaque. What's the plaque say? Oh, keep off aircraft. Oh, here's a plaque. OH-58A. 2-seat scout helicopter. Emergency metal evac. Cool. The windows are pretty well fogged over. I can't really get a good look in there, but looks kind of cool. Cool stuff though. 2,700 pounds. Oh, 1974 to 78. As a friendly enemy used to train radar operators and air defense interceptor crews. Cool. So this thing basically kind of like had a radar signature like an enemy aircraft, and they used it to train. Cool. Oh, there's gun pods on it. There might be gun pods. I don't know. They're cool, whatever they are. This is American. This looks Russian. Why does this look so Russian? Did we hire one of the Russian scientists to build this thing for us? Holy crap. Look at it. This looks very Russian to me. Thunder Chief. Republic aircraft. Oh, using the 50s to deliver nuclear weapon at high speed, low altitude. Oh. Mach 2. Oh my goodness, look at that. Thunder Chief flew 75% of all U.S. strikes against heavily defended North Vietnamese target and dropped 200,000 tons of bombs. Over 350 of 833 built were lost in action. Holy crap. Lost 22 of their own while shooting down 27.5 MiG fighters. Pretty good. I can't believe that high-speed, low-altitude nuclear bombing. God, the 60s and 40s and stuff were cool. Air refueler thing. Got a little tail going. Look at the Kansas Coyotes. KC-135 was the Air Force's first all-jet in-flight refueling tanker aircraft. Neat. 1956. The Stratotanker can carry up to 31,275 gallons or over 209,000 pounds of fuel. Whew, look at that. 135 R aircraft from 02 to 07. I was born in 02. Look at that. Cool. So we've got at least one more fuel stop, maybe one more on the way back, depends on how I drive. I'm probably going to drive it fast like an idiot and burn more gas than I need to, but Firebird's doing pretty good so far, man. Made it the whole way here. The only hiccup being the fact that my card got canceled out of nowhere, but we got that fixed, so that's good. I love my Firebird. $500. $500 out of a field. The only thing I've done to it is fuel pump, oil change, quick tune-up, you know, plugs, wires, coil pack, then an alternator and tires because it's set, and front brake calipers because one of them seized up. Other than that, haven't had to rebuild the motor, haven't had to rebuild the rear end, haven't had to completely redo the fuel system, haven't had to redo the clutch. I mean, this thing is just mint. What a great automobile. All right, I'll see you guys in a minute when we get on the road. All right, let's keep her going. Keep her going. Tell you what, one thing I should have brought was damn sunscreen. My arm is sunburnt already. Look at the doohickey that just drove by. All right, I'm just gonna keep driving. I was gonna film a little thing talking about what kind of gas mileage and everything we were getting, but there were that gas station was 110% in the hood. That vehicle that I showed you pulled up with some white ass playing some horrible rap music that hopped out of it, and there were a lot. There were a lot of people in there that if I said the word I was thinking of, YouTube would completely remove my video. So I'll just leave it at that. I didn't want to get my shit run, so I decided not to stay there. All right, now to just cruise on back to the next gas stop, unless something comes up. See you guys in a little bit. more gas up before we get home. All right, $6 or 6 gallons and $22 later. Should be better last fill up till we get home. This thing's doing great. I think I've spent like, I think 20 bucks the first time. Then I think 25 bucks the next time, and now $22 on gas, and that's for like a 300-mile trip, so that's not bad at all. This thing's doing pretty darn good. Not much else to say. Everything's good. The temperature is getting a little bit warm. It sits right at the gauge, or right at the middle of the gauge, then it goes down, but I mean, it is like 95 degrees out, so that's expected. The voltmeter is all working great. The oil pressure is holding good. The tach's working great. The gas gauge works. Apart from the speedometer, everything's great in this thing. All right, let's hit the road one last time for the final stretch. All right, and it's the next day and it's dark when it cooled down a little bit. I am still sweating horribly just pulling all this crap out of the car. And I am enclosed that my oversized, pale white never be in. It's that hot outside. I got the shorts on with my pearly white skin exposed and a thin shirt that is way out of my weight class, but I got everything out of the car. And that means we can talk about everything I got for $100, and it is way better than I ever could have hoped. We'll just start from the back. We obviously have the Trans Am style rear bumper with the body cladding, which is the square cladding that I like from these cars I think it's like 89 or 90 is when they went to this body style, like the yellow car over there has, and I'm not that big of a fan of them. I much prefer this body style. And that's what all these parts are off of. We have, like I said, the rear bumper here, which is in pretty good shape. It's got a few dings and breaks and dents and crap like that. I mean, keep in mind, this stuff is 40 some odd years old. We have the rear piece, the rear trim piece that goes right there and covers up that body cladding. We have the side cladding right here. We have the frame for it. We have the door piece on both sides. We have the front side cladding and the front bumper for both sides. Well, obviously not bumper for both sides, but the cladding for both sides. And the front bumper is in pretty darn good shape. I mean, it's ugly. All this stuff is going to get taken down and repainted before it goes on the car, but it's in pretty darn good shape anyways. And something that he did have that he just threw in because he didn't know if I needed it or not. Base model cars and formula cars, you guys can see right here, these fenders don't have it. Trans Am cars had these little vents right here, and he cut out the holes and he gave me the vents and he cut out around them from the fender. So I have literally everything I need to slap vents on these fenders, because these fenders are in pretty darn good shape, minus a little ding up there, but they are completely rust free. So for $100, I mean, I couldn't go wrong. I think the bumpers alone were worth $100, and the rest of it is, well, just a pretty darn good plus. This piece right here is kind of a warped, as you guys can tell. I let it sit in that car for a couple days in the heat in kind of a weird position, but it's rubber. It'll clear itself back out. All right, now that we got everything out of the car, let's talk about the car, man. Keep in mind, I know I've said it a couple times in this video, but this is basically the same car that I pulled out of a field where it's sat since 2018, and I got it for $500. All I did to this car since then was do a basic tune-up, you know, oil, plugs, wires, a coil. I threw tires on it because the tires were obviously dry rotted, a fuel pump, an alternator, and then I had to do front calipers because they were locking up. Other than that, this car is the same car that I pulled out of a field for $500, including titling fees. I'm into this car about $850 to $900 all in, and I just drove this thing for 300 miles without any issues. Legitimately, this car did amazing. I could not be more proud of it. Apart from the fact the AC doesn't work, the speedometer doesn't work, and it still isn't running perfectly. It's got a slight miss in there, like I know you guys saw it. I know I've said it before, but when you drive on the interstate and you let off of it and, you know, take off an exit, this thing will die. It doesn't idle perfectly. I need that little miss fixed up, the AC fixed up, and the speedometer, and this thing is basically going to be a perfect daily driver. It has legitimately very, very minor issues. And when I say minor, I mean minor. Like the dent in the fender, the fact that the seats are kind of tore up from, you know, being dry rotted and being like 40 years old. That's the type of issues I'm talking about. Apart from those little issues and the issues I mentioned, this thing's mechanically great. It may still be a gutless V6 Firebird with like 135 horsepower when it was new, and like I said, this thing's like 40 years old, but This thing gets like 30 miles to the gallon. It's been a completely reliable daily driver for me. And I know I've said it before, but I really am super impressed with this car. This was Josh from Risco's Ranch just taking our $500 abandoned Firebird on its very first road trip. We went basically, I think it was like 298 miles in this car in total. So basically 300 miles without any issues related to the car at all. We proved that the hatchback nature of this car can fit a bunch of parts inside of it, and I got a bunch more parts for this car that is going to make it look a hell of a lot better than what it looks like now. I even have an end goal for this car. I told you guys about the motor I want to put in it. Here is the paint job I'm going for. I cooked up this design on a couple different Forza Horizons, and I think that's where I'm going with this car. At some point, I need to put the T-top roof on it before I go too crazy in the paint shop, but it's red. I think it looks really good all Marlboro'd out, and I think it's going to look like a really cool car when I'm done with it. And now the question is, will I ever get done with it? I'm sure you guys can see in the background, in the back of my truck, I got another arcade cabinet. I also got parts for that truck. I've been working on it. I've been working on the yellow Firebird. I've been working on the white Fiero. I've been working on the lifted Lincoln. I have so many projects in my possession, it's hard to say if I ever will finish any of them. But if I do, you guys will see it right here on the channel. Now, if that interests you, be sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. Click that like button if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. Leave a comment telling me what you guys want to see next. If you guys want to see more about this Firebird, how about the $1,000 F-150, which, like I said, I have been doing work to, the yellow Firebird, the white Firebird, any of my buddies' cars that we've worked on, any of it, let me know down in the comments below, and I will do my best to get a video out for you guys. No, I said it earlier, but I am going to end it now because I'm fat, out of weight, and I do not do well in the heat. So I'm going to go inside and enjoy the cool air. This was Josh from Risco's Ranches. I hope you guys are having a good day, night, week, whatever it is. I hope you guys are having a great one, and hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace out and goodbye. To be the guy that, you know, filmed random children without their consent, that'd probably put me on a watch list somewhere. Yeah, that rear end's not really on there anymore.
Mr. nicknames his private member Lazarus because he has risen from